We start tonight in Olmsted County, where a woman is dead and a Rochester man is in custody on murder charges after a manhunt prompted a shelter-in-place order last night. The sheriff's office says 44-year-old Craig Hameister has been arrested in connection with a woman's death after fleeing from deputies. Last night, the Wabasha County Sheriff's Office says the incident began around 4:45 p.m. when deputies responded to a medical emergency in West Newton. That's where a woman, later identified as 36-year-old Melissa Hunt, was located with severe injuries. She died after being taken to St. Elizabeth Healthcare for treatment. Olmsted County investigators then identified Craig Hameister as a person of interest in Hunt's death due to a prior relationship. It prompted a manhunt, which, if you can believe it, ended in a tree.
This is the Rochester Police Department. You are under arrest. Walking to the right with your hands up. Do it now.
Now, this is video of law enforcement officers confronting Hameister, who was hiding in a tree. Now, while this was happening, a shelter-in-place order was issued for Chester and Marion Township around 11 last night. Today, we spoke with neighbors who witnessed the somewhat strange standoff between law enforcement and the suspect in a field bordering the two communities. KIMT News 3's Evan Berg is joining us live from that location. Although, Evan, you've got your feet firmly planted on the ground there. That's good to see. What are you hearing from eyewitnesses who actually were able to see this standoff unfold last night?
Jess, I'm in the backyard of Jeff Wilder here in Chester, right on the border of Marion Township. He says after the shelter-in-place notice went into effect, he went out on his deck and he actually saw this encounter all take place firsthand. When he heard about the incident, he went over and checked in his backyard, looking at this alfalfa field belonging to his neighbor, Stevie from Marion Township, and he says that's where he saw the confrontation play out last night. After seeing that shelter-in-place notice, he decided to sit down in a lawn chair and watch the standoff from his property. As you can see, several drones were flying overhead that night, and police and Hameister exchanged a few words. His neighbor, Stevie, says she hadn't even realized that the manhunt had ended up in a standoff in her backyard until the day after.
It doesn't shake me up, but it sure does make me wonder.
So it's kind of a surprise to get woke up and come out here and find the place is surrounded by cops and SWAT teams.
Wilder says he stayed up until around 4:30 watching the standoff before he had to go to sleep to make sure he could wake up in time for work the next day. But after several hours, the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office say they were able to get the suspect to descend from the tree without further incident. Live in Chester, Evan Berg, KIMT News 3.
Evan, are there any signs of law enforcement still left today? Are we seeing any lasting impacts, or is it pretty much a clear scene and situation out there?
Well, Jess, if you're willing to take a brief walk with me, I can take you over to where the tracks from the sheriff's office and police cars sort of carved their way through the field. I might have to take the camera and run and gun a little bit, though, if you'll be okay with going on a little bit of a journey here.
This is once again in that field bordering between these two communities in both Chester and Marion Township. Once again, this was the scene of a standoff. And Evan, really, this is the neighbor you spoke with, his property. He actually owns the land where this standoff all took place, correct?
No, that's actually the other neighbor I spoke with. I own Stevie from Marion Township, his next door neighbor. This is the border between Chester and Marion. Right now we're peering into her field, and as you can see, there are some tire treads where police officers pursued the suspect until they made their way over to that middle tree right over there.
Okay, and that's where it all ended last night. Thank you so much, Evan, for that additional clarification there. Now, Hameister is currently being held in the Wabasha County Jail on charges of second-degree murder as well as manslaughter.